Hello, my friends. This is Andy coming to you live from Southern California. Glad to be with you. I am exhausted. I have watched the debates 3 times now, actually 3.5 times. And they get better every time, quite honestly. I know. Last night, I thought, wow, I'm really not sure which way to go. And then I watched it again when I got home. And kind of fast forward and stopped and re-listened to a couple of things. And then I go, well, it wasn't so bad. It was really bad for Biden, but not so bad for Trump. And I know what you're thinking. Many of you are thinking, well, you're a Trump fan anyway. And that's why you're like, no, I'm telling you. I don't do that. I will tell you if he had a horrible time. There were a couple of times where I just wish he wouldn't have interrupted, because when he interrupted, Biden was getting ready to say something that really would have like hung him. Like, no, it's he was just going to say something that we could have really used later on. And then the third time I watched it, which was earlier today, I haven't quite got through this 3.5 time, this 3.5 time. How do you say that? How do you say that, kids from elementary school or junior high? the almost fourth time I watch it, became really clear that when you really listen to what the president had to say and what he said he has done, what he is doing, and what he's going to do, we cannot really ask for much more. Now, in the way that he says some things, it turns people off, it makes people angry and all that kind of stuff. But I want to address something first before I go on the review of the reviews of people just like wringing their hands and saying this was the most horrible thing on the planet and makes us look horrible across the world. Listen, if you don't know who Donald Trump is by now, then where you been? I'm not sure where you thought that this was going to be something different than a guy who is one of us. And I know he's probably not one of you, but he's one of us. The guys that I was with on Saturday for the battle, for Yorba Linda, California, were all Donald Trumps. They're Americans. They are the Americans that I've worked alongside with, that I worked alongside with in regard to law enforcement. They are real people, right? That have real language and know how to respond. When you're pushed, you know how to push back. And it's guys that I was in the, when I play hockey, in the locker room with, that talk a certain way and aren't bothered by little things in regard to life. That and many people that I know are God-loving people that still have an edge to them, right? We're sinners. And so you have a large majority of our country that maybe, although we would like to see maybe some things handled differently, it wasn't all President Trump's fault. The moderator, Chris Wallace, did a horrible job. I think we could all agree on. I think everybody on Fox, I think, even though they may not say it out loud, but people on CNN, MSNBC, Biden, Trump, all agree Chris Wallace did a horrible job. He was a miserable human being. Now, the DNC side of things, they may have liked him because most of the questions that he asked and the way he asked them were leaning left, right? And were making some assertions that really were not fair, and really taking some speaking points from the DNC side of things and trying to turn them into questions. Before I get into a little history first, because I think it's important to have the history so you know why we were there last night and the reason why Donald Trump speaks the way he does and does some of the things he does. I want to get into that first, but let me look at a couple comments here. Hey there, friends. Nice to see you. Don, nice to see you. Nice talking to you. Awesome. Nicole's on here. Amy. Hey, Amy. And some people saying hi to each other. You guys have become friends. Orange man is bad. Yes. All right. So it's really important to set context to why a man, regardless if it's Donald Trump, right? So I think Donald Trump is always going to be Donald Trump. He's always going to be the way that he is and say the things that he says and has the bombacity, I guess that is what I'm talking about, is just who he is, right? We elected him knowing that he's a businessman. He's not a politician. He will never speak like a politician. He will never be that person. But you have to understand that even if he came in and had at least even a little bit of respect, right? Even just a smidge of respect, we would still, I think even with his personality the way it is, would have a different man who doesn't have to sell himself every time he gets in front of a mic, every time a camera camera's red light turns on and he begins to speak, that he would not have to be the person, his only spokesperson. He has to be a spokesperson because not even Fox does a really good job of doing this, right? So if you're a Fox fan, they're constantly bringing in opposite voices, which is perfectly fine. That's why I watch Fox, and that's why I kind of get angry at Fox sometimes, because they bring on somebody that's just a complete moron who listens to the lies and spouts out the repetition of things like the Russian collusion, the stupidity of somebody still believing that that somehow Trump is tied to the Russians and tied to Putin is just moronic. And you have people that will get on there and repeat it even today, even after what it is we know today. And so if we just bring out the letter, just show the letter that was made public yesterday, this kind of, I think, sets a context for, sorry, I got to get rid of my lower third here, sets a context for why, even if you look at Kavanaugh, right? Kavanaugh at some point couldn't take it anymore. He's just like, okay, I'm tired of you guys telling me that I'm a rapist. I'm a gang rapist, that because I drank beer when I was in high school, I can't be the Supreme Court justice, whatever it was 30 or 40 years later, that the ridiculousness of everything that they attacked him on with false allegations and calling him a rapist when there was no evidence that he raped anybody, but it kept, was in the news, right? You had CNN repeating it. You had MSDNC repeating it. You had New York Times repeating it, saying over and over and over and over again, to the point where everybody now believed it. And now he had to defend himself on something that was not even true. There wasn't even a real victim. She claimed to be a victim, but there was no proof that she was ever a victim, and that we had to simply believe her. But then when it happens to Joe Biden, oh no, she's a liar. Wait, you said you have to believe all women, but now you're saying that this woman, because she's accusing Biden of sexual assault with people supporting her claim, right? She had more people supporting her. You can't believe her, but you have to believe this woman who had zero evidence that that he had touched her. So I just want to set a stage that you for 4 years, over 4 years, because it started before he actually got sworn as president, that the media and people have been trying to push this lie that he was a Russian spy, and just kept repeating it, that he somehow is best friends with Putin, and every decision he makes is for the benefit of Russia, which is stupidity. If this is your argument, then you are a moron, right? That you've not paid attention. You are naive. You've not listened to what is actually happening. And so this letter that was released by the Central Intelligence Agency, pointing out what actually, now that we know to be true in this investigation and what really happened. So I'm going to just take the first paragraph here, and hopefully I can see it. The first paragraph here, and what it says, and this is what we know now. This is the truth, right? This is what everybody that in all the investigations, when you have somebody that's actually investigating and looking at facts, you have somebody that actually tells you the truth. In late July 2016, the U.S. intelligence agency obtained insight into Russian intelligence analysis alleging that U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, not Donald Trump, candidate Hillary Clinton had approved a campaign plan to stir up scandal against U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump by tying him to Putin and the Russians, hacking of the Democratic National Committee. The IC does not know the accuracy of this allegation or the extent to which the Russian intelligence analysis may reflect exaggeration or fabrication. Paragraph 2, or bullet 2. According to his handwritten note, former Central Intelligence Agent Director Brennan subsequently briefed President Obama. So President Obama knows that Hillary is creating a false allegation against the president, and now going to have a document created, the Steele dossier, to use as some type of proof. So alleged approval by Hillary Clinton on July 26, 2016, of a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by Russian security services. And then lastly, on the 7th of September 2016, U.S. intelligence officials forwarded an investigative referral to FBI Director James Comey, and Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Peter Strzok regarding U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's approval of a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. intelligence or elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private mail server. And so this is only a very, very small tip of the iceberg. As things begin to unravel and you begin to see everything that was done, spying on the Trump campaign, getting warrants to investigate and slander members of his administration, that when we look at this debate yesterday and we look of the history of how he's had nothing but attacks from the day before he got elected to every day since he's taken office, that you have to understand at some point after 3.5 years or 4 years of getting hammered and having very few people, even some rhinos speaking against them, voting against them, even vote for his impeachment, that you have to come out, and you have to, on some level, you may not, I'm just telling you, on some level, you have to understand the frustration and not just the frustration, but the need to come out sometimes as a little bit of a bull in a china shop and say, oh, you got this guy, this old man on the other side who's all wired up apparently, because now we have all kinds of photos of a hand trigger and a wire going up as they all this, like you cannot try. People say, well, he's making claims against the FBI. Look at what they did. You can't take anything for granted. He wanted to check Biden's ear. Yes, look what they did. Look what they put him through. Look what they put his family through. Look what they did his entire presidency, even trying to impeach him for something that never happened. That you now think that it's crazy that he wants somebody look in his ear to see if he has somebody speaking to him. That is not crazy. Not after the years that have gone by of everything that they've done to destroy his presidency and to disparage him in the plans and things that he's put forward, that nothing that he's done has ever been looked at or been reported on as being positive. Not one single thing. You have 3 nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize, which is kind of not that big of a deal considering they gave it to Obama for doing nothing. So it's kind of like one time I got selected for a particular program, and they had selected some other people that had no experience and no knowledge. It was only because they kind of went to the river together and did some other stuff. And so that kind of lessons like, well, I would normally feel proud that I got this spot, but they give it to this other person. Like, you go, it doesn't make it that prestigious since they gave it to this other person. I worked my ass off to get into that position, to have all the knowledge that I have. I took even my own private time and learned and went to schools and did a whole bunch of stuff. I did a whole, this grandiose, there we go, grandiose amount of work to get this position. And if I didn't, then I almost gave them no choice because I had done so much. But I didn't hang out with them. I didn't party with the people that were in charge of deciding. I hope this is making sense. I'm trying not to give too much information because then some people will say, "Oh, I know what you're talking about." But I had to do an extraordinary amount of work to get hired in a position where I wasn't part of the clique, right? And then they give it to another guy who has no experience, did nothing, and was as dumb as a rock, and they give it to him. So do you see what I'm saying? They give you that, put you in this position, and so when I'm talking about the Nobel Peace Prize, you kind of go, well, normally that would be like fantastic, but there's a little bit like, well, they gave it to Obama. You're thinking, maybe that's not great. But again, even when Obama got it, they gave him a positive news stories on it, where President Trump gets nominated 3 times. Not once, nominated 3 times. He hasn't got it yet, but he's probably won't. But that he's been nominated 3 times, nothing, not one single report. The peace in the Middle East, all the other programs that he's taken out of these wars. He's the only president that has gotten us into a war or a conflict since being the president of the United States. That he's done more for the black community than any other president since Abraham Lincoln. These are all true facts. These are not made up. These are not hyperbolic bits of information, but I'm just trying to lay the stage of why we got to where we were yesterday. And in fact, when you watch the debates a second or third time, I know some of you go, nah, I'm not watching that again. Watch it again and have a different kind of like, now you already know what's going to happen. And now you begin to look and say, well, what he's saying is awesome. What he's saying is true. And then you got the other side. I don't even know what he's talking about. Let me give you an example. So if I give you this example here, when he was talking about the Green New Deal, do you remember in the beginning when he says, I am the Green New Deal will be fantastic and it won't be as expensive as you think. And then Wallace asks him, so you're for the Green New Deal? No, I'm not for the Green New Deal. You go, wait, you're not? And even Trump said, wait a minute, you're not for the Green New Deal? I thought you were for the new. No, I'm not. Absolutely not. I've never been for the new Green Deal. But here we go. We look at this. Biden believes the Green New Deal is a crucial is a pretty big word, I would think, right? That means that it's important. A crucial framework for meeting the climate changes we face. It powerfully captures two basic truths and then goes on to say other stuff. But the thing is, the important part is that he says it's crucial. The Biden-Harris or the Harris-Biden, however you want to say it, campaign believes it is crucial. But last night he said he doesn't believe in it. And that's where you got to begin to look at all the other stuff that's going on. And that's why you can understand a little bit of frustration. That Biden actually interrupted Trump far more often than Trump interrupted Biden. So let me look at some of these comments here. I'm completely lost. There's so many comments on my side from the different platforms. If I don't get to your comment, I am so sorry. I watched 6 times. I watched 6 times, and even in slow motion, Biden was also blinking at Miller at certain times. Oh, I did. I got to look at that part. That Biden has blue eyes, but last night they were completely blown out. When you have a dilation of your eyeballs, you're on some type of speed. And that is very clear. You can see that. We walk the streets as police officers looking for people for dilated pupils because in most cases they are on some type of narcotic, and you give them a certain amount of tests, and you get a nystagmus test, and begin to question them, look at their arms, and you can identify people as drug dealers. But the first thing you look at are the pupils, and yes, his eyeballs look completely blown out. Why when Gropey Joe agreed to an electronic search? Biden melted down, telling world leader to shut up, man. Biden isn't fit to be a. He's not fit to run a McDonald's. Something was in the pan also that he had almost the entire time too. There was a lot going on. I mean, when you begin to watch it and you watch it again, I know some people are like, I've never watched that. You have CNN completely down apparently, because I did see some stuff. I'm going to bring up another. I'm sorry I'm late, but I was still researching some stuff, and I had to grab a couple videos really quick. Oh, they pulled down. No. YouTube pulled down Dan Bongino's show. This video is unavailable in restricted mode enabled. Oh, I can't pull it up. There was he did a great job. Why did they pull it down? Look at I'll share my screen so you can see. See, this is what's going on. This is the problem. And if you don't get it, I am sorry. If you don't get it, there it is. It's unavailable. And you see right there, episode 1359, why Trump won last night. Big, the Dan Bongino show. It is down. They completely pulled it off the internet, or at least off of YouTube. I could probably find it somewhere else, but my counter where I have it labeled will not work now. Wow, that is that. All right, okay. Or I can go to Rumble probably. Let me try to go to Rumble. I'm sorry. I'm on early today because I wanted to go to church. There's a church service tonight, and I wanted to come on early. It should still be on Rumble. Here, let me find it. Hopefully, I can find the same. What the heck's going on? You guys still seeing me? Yeah. Just let me know if you're still seeing me, because there's some weird stuff happening on my end too. Oh, I got to sign in here. Oops. Dang it. Signed in on the wrong thing. Hold on. Sorry, folks. I wasn't counting on YouTube pulling down Dan Bongino's show. Oh, my gosh. Now I can't do a search. Why can't I search? Here we go. Bongino. All right. It's on Rumble. All right. Here we go. Thank God for Rumble. All right. I just want to make sure it was working. All right. I need to bring the counter. So here, let's first look at everybody melting down. And I'm going to have a comment, and it's pretty much the same comment that I was shocked to find out that, not completely shocked, but surprised that Dan had the same thought that I did. That if it was so horrible for Donald Trump, right? Yeah, you had a large number of people, I believe. I don't watch any of those other channels, so I'm not really sure what they were saying. Oh, thank you, Amy. Yeah, I was weird for a second. I was getting a little hiccupy on my end. But if it was so horrible, according to the liberals, that it was a S show, as they said, then why are they saying they should have no more debates? If Joe Biden did so well, why not have more debates? So that now that he's had some practice at this one, now he can gain some more points. The reason they don't want him to do it again is because it was horrible. Again, I know that people are, well, you're just for Trump. No, I'm trying to tell you that I look at this in a very unbiased position. And again, we'll call out when something doesn't go well. That's so weird. It doesn't fill the screen. All right. So let's listen to what some people had to say and then what Dan has to say about this whole thing. Here we go.
The great Tom Elliott at Grabian. Here is a supercut of leftists in the media basically throwing out a dog whistle that Biden shouldn't show up for the next two debates. Check this out.
So, very simple question. After what went down this evening, do you think Joe Biden should participate in a second or third debate?
Should the next two debates go on as scheduled?
I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if this is the last presidential debate.
Should there be other debates?
Are we really going to repeat this? Are we going to have another two of these?
I think we have to hear from the Presidential Commission on Debates tomorrow. We can't do two more of these.
Why are we bothering with a discussion of the rules, of format, of time limits, of moderators at all when we have just seen what is going to happen?
You know, folks, I'm all about evidence. You know, evidence is my thing. It was my prior line of work. To prosecute a case, you need evidence. Opinion, conjecture is nice. It can lead you to evidence, but opinions aren't evidence unless they're backed up by facts. If what I'm telling you again is wrong, and Trump got annihilated last night, it's all over. His strategy was stupid. It was so terrible, was a disaster. Then why is the leftist media so eager to make the next two debates go away?
Right. And that's what I was saying in the middle of the night last night when I was watching it again. was it because I started to see some things on Twitter where they said we should never have another debate. Well, why? If you think that Donald Trump did so poorly and got beat up so bad, why wouldn't you want another debate? And so this was a little bit of craziness. You just lost left. Yes. Yes, from YouTube. Hey, I'm not sure who you are. Abwar. Again, I'm sorry that I'm just getting so many comments right now that it's a little bit crazy. Yes. All right. So let's go now to the next thing. And the next thing that was spoken about was that he completely messed up the white supremacy question, which again, on the surface, I will admit that there was a moment there that I was thinking, wait a minute, did I miss something? The kids were around and we were all talking. We're all kind of laughing at the stupidity of Biden and what he was saying and how slow he looked and his eyeballs looked a little odd. But I missed it. And so there was a moment there I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not sure that he got that one right, or he must not be understanding Chris, or Chris is saying something that may be, just put him in a weird position. I watched. It was the second time that I said, no, he said, sure, I will denounce the white supremacist. He said, sure. And the way that he talks, again, people want him to say things a certain way, like there's a certain expectation, but he says things the way that he says them because he's trying to also think ahead. Like if you're smart, you're trying to think ahead about, well, what is it you want me to say? I've already said, and he has already said that he denounces white supremacist actions and activity, and he's already been called racist how many times? And you just look at everything that he's done in his past, and then what he was doing when he was going to be elected, and there's nothing there that says that he's racist. And again, people will continue to make this point that he's racist, but there's nothing. They have no evidence that he's racist whatsoever. But when we watch this clip, we want to listen to the words again and the fact that he says, and then eventually says that he wants them to cease and desist. But he says it in a way, again, that doesn't please everybody. But who really cares? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's already said it before. At this point, no matter what he would have said, he would say, oh, well, that's not good enough, or he should have said it a different way, or whatever it is. So let's go ahead and watch this clip really quick.
Because you're not smart enough to process information. I'm very sorry. Because it's starting again today with even conservative people. Oh my gosh, he fumbled the white supremacist court. Did he? Let's look at this article at Breitbart. Be in the show notes today. Read it. Bongino.com/newsletter is how you access the show notes. Fact check. The transcript of the debate shows Trump agreed to condemn white supremacists. Standby followed Wallace's prompt, talking about the Proud Boys. Want to read the actual transcript or the takeaways? And you know what? Forget the transcript, the video. Here's from the Breitbart. Here's the actual takeaways from those of you who've been told this morning that Trump fumbled the white supremacy question. Again, you believe he's a white supremacist? No, I don't believe it. Then why are you bringing this up? Breitbart. 3 things are clear from the transcript below. And we'll play the video in a second. Chris Wallace refused to accept sure for an answer about this white supremacist condemnation question and demanded Trump condemn extremists on stage. He only demanded Trump do that, by the way. Wallace is the one who introduced the stand down language, not Trump, who was doing what he was asked, condemn white supremacists. Trump's answer was sure. Biden is the one who demanded Trump condemn the Proud Boys, a right-wing group, and Trump complied. 4, Biden refused to condemn Antifa, saying it was, quote, an idea, not an organization. Wallace then tried to end the argument. Want to see the exchange again? Pay very close attention when he's asked to condemn white supremacists to exactly what Donald Trump says. And tell me again how you got snookered into another media narrative about how Trump is a grand wizard in the Ku Klux Klan. This is just really stupid now, folks. Really, really stupid. Play the video.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared to
do
specifically
that, but
do it? Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. You want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
Who would
right
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing.
Again, I'm just really, really sorry for all the conservative virtue signaling talking head suckers out there who are tweeting, oh my gosh, Trump blew it on the white supremacist question. How exactly did he do that?
Yeah. And so what you got to understand, and again, the third time, maybe the second time, I watched it, and I actually have watched that clip probably 7-8 times. And the problem with the question is that somehow Chris Wallace is saying that there's all kinds of white supremacy actions out there that are destroying these cities. That this question is just odd, because the question should have been about Black Lives Matter and Antifa destroying our cities, and that where is all the news on the white? I've not seen any. And I look at everything other than I don't watch CNN on a regular basis, because it's just there's such stupid people on there, and they're such morons, because they're stuck on this Russian collusion thing, which has been debunked already. And now, and again, I read the letter from the Central Intelligence Agency that somehow, and I think we even got called in Yorba Linda the other day, a bunch of white supremacists on one of the comments that I saw. And just because you have Americans mixed with Hispanics and blacks and whites and Italians, and there's all mix of people that were carrying American flags, Trump flags, don't tread on me flags and everything. It was a mix of people that were pushing Antifa and Black Lives Matter out of our city because they are the aggressors. They came into our city to invade our city, and then we pushed them out. And then somehow we are the bad guys. We are the white supremacists. That isn't. There's nothing further from the truth. That they want to continue to say that police are systemically racist. Which is completely untrue. I'm seeing a friend from Australia here. May, why would you spend more time on such a debacle and disaster? Because it wasn't. It really wasn't. Forget about Biden, but Trump just showed how useless he is. And again, these are speaking points that certain people that watch a certain aspect of the news and have been brainwashed into believe that this president who has made more changes, more positive changes in our government, more positive changes across the world than any president in our lifetime and maybe in our entire history. That when you hear things like that you're missing all the things that he's done. Again, 3 Nobel Peace Prize. You can't get nominated without doing something. You don't get that from golfing. Right? You don't make more changes in the black community than any other president other than Abraham Lincoln by golfing. None of that stuff. By using that he's useless is obviously that is a moronic statement that you are not listening and not paying attention to what's actually happening. That you've not watched any of the press conferences or the meetings that he's had, the round tables that he had. When you look at the Hispanic community and you see something like this, where after the debate, look at this, after the debate, if you can see it there, it's for Biden, in regard to whether they thought he won or not, was 34%. That the Hispanics, this is from Telemundo, believe that there were 66% that think Trump did. And they think how important because they listened to the words, they listened to what he had to say. And I'm wondering if some of it wasn't translated so that you didn't hear the talking over and the argument that Biden was always walking on top and calling him stupid and calling him a clown. I'm wondering, and I don't know. I didn't see the telecast. I don't know what's happening here. But you have to understand that many Hispanics, not just from Mexico, but many of our Hispanics from Cuba, from Argentina, from Venezuela, from all these countries that are socialist countries, understand what President Trump is trying to do. He's trying to keep us from becoming a socialist country. And you can listen to the lies coming out of Biden's mouth that now he doesn't want the Green New Deal, even though he has wanted the Green New Deal. Now that he doesn't want fracking, even though he's said several times, probably 10 times more often, that he wants to end fracking, right? That he is never really condemned Black Lives Matter or Antifa for destroying the democratically run cities, that he's never called, and he said in one of the questions that he never contacted any of the mayors or governors of any of the democratically run cities that were having the actual rioting, that he never called Portland's mayor, that he never called the Oregon's governor, that he never called Seattle's mayor, he never called Washington's governor to say, hey, we can't have this. His excuse was, well, I'm not in office. You're the nominee for the presidency of the United States of America. You don't have to be in office. You're a former vice president of the United States of America. You don't think a phone call to the mayor or the governor to suggest, see, I'm getting excited, to suggest to them that they allow the National Guard to come in to stop all this crap, that it doesn't look good on that this is happening, that you're allowing people to destroy our city. That you're blaming the National Guard, or not the National Guard, the federal agents that came in a federal building. They were there. They weren't there when the rioting started. They were there in the middle. They left, and the rioting continued. So you can't sit there and blame the federal police that came in to protect just one building for the entire rioting that's continuing to go on today in a democratically run city. That this presidential nominee never even did anything to help these governmental representatives stop the violence that's occurring in their cities. And like we discovered here in Yorba Linda, when Antifa and BLM came in on Saturday, they're mostly from out of the area. The lady who ran over the 4 Americans was a Democrat BLM member from Long Beach. She wasn't even from Orange County. She's now in jail for attempted murder. But these are people that are coming in. So you want a strong mayor, you want a strong governor to say, hey, you're not going to come in here and make a shambles of our buildings and of our and attack our citizens and run them over and try to kill them. You need to take a stand. And the fact that he never thought that, maybe I should talk to the mayor and say, this doesn't look good. This is not good. They waited until it began to affect them in the polls. And then you have people on CNN and MSDNC saying, well, maybe they should do something because it's not looking good in the polls. It's not because they're killing citizens in those cities. It's not because they're destroying buildings, which is the lifeblood of some of these people that have built a business. They didn't want it stopped because of it. They wanted it stopped because it affected them in the poll. How about Biden as a presidential nominee saying, hey, we need to stop. This is not good. It is not good that they're destroying these things in these cities and making a phone call. It really is a ridiculous statement from a presidential nominee to say, no, I didn't call them. I'm not in office. You said in regard to the COVID-19 that you had a better plan. What is that plan? The plan that he claims that he laid out is the one that President Trump had already done. Everything the president had already done was in Biden's plan. You can't take something that has worked and then claim it as your own and then say the other guy didn't do it. No, you took the plan that Trump put together for the COVID-19 pandemic. You then wrote it down saying that it was your plan, and then you said that he didn't do it. Is that one of the craziest things you've ever heard in your entire life? No. And so back to this comment from, again, somebody that's not here in the United States. Apparently, you're not getting the news of everything that has been done in the last 3.5 years, the very positive things of getting us out of these wars, pulling our troops out of wars, bringing peace to the Middle East, about all the Black community policies and programs that have actually been put into place. The attempt to put in some other programs in regard to law enforcement that have been blocked by the Democrats. The fact that he's been trying to get money through the PPP program and through stimulus, trying to get that pushed through, but yet the Democrats are blocking it. To say that he's useless and doing nothing is one of the most ridiculous statements I think that I've heard from anybody, including Americans, is that there's nothing useless about anything he's done over the last 3.5 years. The reason they hate it is because he's exposing the Democrats and even some Republicans as worthless pieces of crap to our country. They have been destroying our country. You have a guy, let me see if I just got this idea here. You have a guy who was up here, right? You had Trump, who had a lot of money, right? You can put a lot of zeros, behind this, a lot of zeros behind that thing. And he's actually lost money to create a better country, right? You have a guy that has come in here with money, probably has less money because he wants to make America much better than it was before he came in. He wanted to make America, it's like going to, staying at somebody's house and you want to leave, making the house cleaner and better than when you got. You never want to leave a mess because you visited out. He's coming here and he's making it better and actually losing income coming into the presidency or into politics, period, right? Coming into politics, he's never been into politics before. But you have Biden, you got Pelosi, you have a whole bunch of number of other people. You can put even Hunter Biden, right? Who came in with little money as citizens. Oh, you can put Obama here too. Obama, who came into power with little money, right? A little bit of money, but they leave with a whole shitload of money. As politicians, right? As politicians, they're all millionaires and probably some cases billionaires. And so, what's the motivation? You hear this stuff from Biden saying that he's lining his pockets. He's coming and lining his pockets. That his kids are lining their pockets with what they're getting out of being in politics. About him being president. Are you kidding me? Everybody's losing money because he's not even taking a paycheck. He's donating his paycheck. He's not able to run the businesses that he has and that he's run because he can't, because he's president. You have a guy that's coming in as a businessman who loves America, has done more for America, and he can go out and golf once in a while, right? We all can take a day off once in a while. I don't even know how much he golfs. I could care less. He deserves to golf an awful lot. He should take the rest of the week off and go golf because he's done far more and lost more because he's been president. Lost a sense of personal benefit, as opposed to Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Pelosi, Obama, who have created wealth out of being politicians. How do you do that? How does this happen? How do you create that much wealth where you can have a mansion on whatever that place is called out there in on the East Coast, Martha's Vineyard or whatever it is that they built out there, $1 million mansions. He's Trump, who was up there before. Trump is going to leave and he's going to go back to his businesses and running them well and being successful. And then they talk about his taxes, which is, again, the most ridiculous. It's a nothing, right? That's nothing. You're going to tell us, you're going to tell all of us here in the United States of America that these wealthy entrepreneurs who create millions or thousands of jobs, maybe millions of jobs across the United States of America, creates revenue for the areas where their buildings are and their businesses are, and where people that work for the Trump Towers or work for the golf course here in Palos Verdes that used to be, it used to be something else. I forgot what it was. Not SeaWorld, but Marine World, right? That now where that is now, where he's brought in and has hundreds of people working there. You're trying to tell me that none of that is a benefit? That the Trump, a golf course there in Palos Verdes where all these people work, where people go there and spend money, all the sales tax that's created from that business that he created, that all the people that get paid and the employment tax that is generated from all the employees that he employs, that is to look at as to be nothing. Somebody who creates all these businesses and towers in Las Vegas and in New York and Washington, D.C., all the people that work there, all the taxes that are paid, both in sales tax and, again, employee tax and that kind of stuff, that you think, he also is going to hire and pay the best accountants in the world to make sure that he doesn't pay more taxes than he has. And all these tax laws were created before he got there. They're blaming him for taking advantage of tax laws that were created before he became president. None of it makes any sense. And then you read stuff like this stupidity about, he's friends with Putin and all this stuff, which was completely created by the left and the Democratic committee and Hillary Clinton and Obama and Biden in the Oval Office, where their plan to spy on the presidential campaign and then the president was all hatched. And they knew about it. That nothing is said about that. That's not a shit show. That's not a spineless BS. That you can just completely ignore all that. Right? That's what you want us to do, and say that it's nothing. Right? That it's nothing we should see. That people are tired of hearing about the Russian stuff. No, you're tired of hearing about the Russian stuff because now you're being exposed that you were all lying about it. Let's see here. It is really unfortunate that people can't actually wake up and see what's going on. It's very scary to know people are so manipulated by mainstream. It is shocking. Again, I say this all the time, that I have people that I know that are close to me that are voting Democrat here that I thought were intelligent people that had some intelligence to them. It really does amaze me. And I'm not quite sure. There's like three different things. You're either a moron, and I didn't know it, or you just hate the president so much that you want to believe and want to repeat things that are untrue. You want to be stupid and you want to say stupid. That it's because you hate somebody so much, regardless of the truth. Right? Whatever it is he's saying, whatever it is he's doing, that you just simply want to hate it and ignore the facts. And then the third is that you are just a socialist, and you're hoping somehow that the socialist thing is going to work better for you. And again, that just makes you a moron, because it has been tried. It has been used in these other countries, and you can see how it's just destroyed lives and destroyed countries. And it's stupid. I had so many more clips to show you. I have like 5 clips from the debate, but I think that the review of the review, I think I've done my job. That you really should. I mean, I've really loved getting into the politics of things lately. I'm not bothered by it, by a lot of people that say that they can't watch it anymore. That it just bothers them and makes their stomach feel funny, and they get all crazy about it. Some of these things you have to wait. You have to wait a little bit. You got to kind of look at it a little bit and rewatch some things, maybe even look at some transcripts, because when you actually take away some of the stuff that kind of makes you uncomfortable, the argument back and forth and that kind of stuff, you really see the difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Biden really looked old and frail. He had a lot going on. I'm not sure what all the wires were and all the other stuff. That I don't think it helped him at all. I think probably it hurt him more than anything else. Whatever it was, I can't even tell you what it was. But again, you have to look at the entire history. It is impossible to look at what happened last night without understanding that the frustration that a human being can have, that a man, I don't care if it's Donald Trump, that a man can have that for over 4 years now, that is just lie after lie after lie. And the only way to get your message out is sometimes to walk over people. And you're just, if you're going to be strong, if you are going to survive and move forward and continue to do great things for a country like ours, that you have no choice, because nobody's going to hear you. Even Chris Wallace with his questioning was so slanted to the left, the way that he worded it, that ask him like if he's going to denounce white supremacy. Like he's denounced white supremacy more than 3 or 4 times that I know of. Like, why is that a question and debate yesterday? Because I don't know that anything happened. Did somebody light a cross on fire at a park there in Washington, D.C. or on the White House lawn? I must have missed that. Why wasn't the question like, what are we going to do about Black Lives Matter and Antifa destroying these cities in our country? What about that question? Right? He had to bring it up. So the way the questions were asked was completely wrong. And when you watch it again and kind of reduce it down to the words that were spoken and listen to the truths and the facts that came from President Trump, and then the lie and the shift in what he believes in, like the new Green Deal or the Green New Deal, whatever it is, right? whatever he loved and now he denounced, kind of like the fracking stuff. When we really begin to look at it differently on that aspect, like what was actually said. Let's take away the yelling and screaming, the talking over, and the stupid questions. What was said? You got a lot of stupid things that were said that were wrong and completely false, and a shift on what he has said before, and then you have him telling you what he's done, what he's doing now, and what he's going to do in the future. And when you look at that, there's really no difference between who should be president of the United States, and really strong. And I love that statement too. This is one of my favorite statements too. Is that Donald Trump has done more in 47 months than Joe Biden has done for this country in 47 years. Completely true. And what he has done in those 47 years has mostly got us into trouble. Most of what Joe Biden has either voted on or voted against has always been on the wrong side, right? Voting for things that actually causes more Americans to be killed in war, and in regard to their pandemic, when they said, we're not going to do any testing, no more testing, because we don't want people to know how many people actually have it and how many people are dying. So they stopped all testing. The Obama administration stopped all testing because they didn't want the media or the public to know actually how many people are infected, which is just the opposite of what they're saying now, right? Now all they want is testing. Now there can never be enough testing. Even though we're doing more testing than any other country on the planet, we still aren't doing enough. People are dying. No, people aren't dying. That is a myth also. People have died. A large number of people died that shouldn't have died, but it's not, more people are dying from other things than anything else right now. And we need to get our country back. The elderly, an entirely different story. The susceptible, the people that are more susceptible because of underlying conditions, you need to protect those people. Those people are dying. But the average American kids that are dying is such a small number that there's no reason we should still be should be shut down. And the difference between the two administrations on how they handle the pandemics is clearly just you can't even compare the two, because basically nothing was done in the Obama administration, and everything possible that was done, especially when little information was known at the time, there couldn't have been more done. When you really come back and look at it. When they come back and look at it, you're actually going to find a lot less people. As a matter of fact, they're already saying 30% of the people that they have listed as COVID-19 deaths didn't die of COVID-19. 30%. And that number is probably climbing as they begin to examine the medical records and the death certificates. That 30% of the people that they listed as COVID-19 deaths are not COVID-19 deaths. They had it when they died. They didn't die of COVID-19. They died of something else. And so there we go. So I hope this was I just want to have a different. I wanted to have a different look at this. That I wanted to review the reviews, and it simply is not as bad as you think. I'm looking forward to the next 2 debates. I think they're going to be good. I think both of them are going to learn a little bit from this very first one. So I'm looking forward to it. I doubt that they're probably going to have the other 2, but I am looking forward to them if they have them. And again, just watch it again. That's all I have to say. You watch and again, remove some of the things that are kind of cringy moments. Listen to the words and listen to what was said. And I think you'll have a different outcome than anything else. So I'm looking at some of the words here. The speaker should run a hedge fund. She turned 5 million into 500 million. Yeah. It's really crazy when you think about this too, right? You got these politicians that are getting paid a specific wage, and they become these millionaires on all these other little side deals they have going on. And once that all gets exposed, it's really, that's the reason they're fighting so hard, because he's exposing all the stuff that's happening. All right, my friends, I got to go to church. I obviously need it because I want to. Yes, they got paid. That is correct. That is true. I got paid more for COVID deaths than cancer deaths. All right, my friends. I love you guys. God bless you. Oh, and I didn't talk about my sponsors. All right, I'll do that next time. All right, I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye. Oh, wait a minute. Dang it. Always on the wrong page when I do this. All right, that's it. Good night.